I finally watched The Substance about a week ago, and I don't know how they call it a comedy. This was one of the saddest horror films I've ever seen. And she is, she's kind of washed up and stuff, and she does these aerobics, and obviously, executives want something young and, perky and things like that. So she overheard one of the CEO or bosses say something like that. So she was devastated. Anyway, she got into a very terrible car wreck. Someone was checking her spine and saying, hey, you're a great candidate, and convinced her to try this stuff to make a better version of herself, a younger version, more fit and everything. So she ended up doing that. But the version of herself didn't look like herself. And I was trying to figure out why. And also, just every time she switched her versions of herself, Sue, that's her like altered ego, it seemed like became more dangerous, more negligent, and selfish. And it got me thinking. That is who Elizabeth is. Sue is Elizabeth. Even though she was already in the spotlight, who she was on the inside, she didn't love herself. She hated herself. And so, because of that, she created this Sue character that didn't look like her, but really acted like who she was on the inside. And that is scary. That is scary because you don't know who you are until you get a second chance. The way Sue just drained her dry was really messed up. And then, even though it was happening to her to where she got drained completely, to where she was absolutely almost just this grotesque version of herself, she did not want to terminate the process because she wanted that part of her to live, even though it was destroying her. And that's how it is in real life. Didn't feel like a comedy. It felt like a documentary of people's lives. When she was at her worst, just absolutely just a mass of flesh, she managed to scoot to her star because that's all she wanted to be, was a star. And even though a machine cleaned it up, that's all you're left with. But given the opportunity to have a better version of yourself, would you? Because you really don't know what that looks like. And believe me, it's not the person you see in the mirror every day.